Legion 170, and I'm joined,
Radiant
as always, by Goldclaw and Captain Knuckles. Guys, I hope you are ready for an enjoyable series of matches, because if they're anything like what we saw last week between QPR and Power Trip, these games are going to be a heck of a ride.
Definitely. Those games were so fun.
And user-friendly, starting things off with an Ember Spirit ban followed by a Rubik ban, and then we see Slark banned out by QPR and Ancient Apparition followed by that. So what do we see in those first couple bans, guys?
Radiant's pick.
I think QPR banned out Slark and Ancient last week too. They really don't like going against those two heroes.
Yeah, it's kind of one of those things where I think each team has, that hero or that set of heroes that they really don't want to face because they really disrupt what they want to do. And for QPR, apparently those are Slark and Ancient Apparition, because you're right. I think in at least two of those games, both of those heroes were banned out by QPR. And maybe even in all three of them.
I think it was all three, yeah.
And then after that, we see a Nyx Assassin as a first pick, which is kind of surprising to me. You don't normally see Nyx as that, #1 pick. He is kind of a good utility hero in that he can play the off lane, he can support, he can even mid from time to time. Kind of a surprising first pick, though, from User Friendly. And that's followed up by the Viper from QPR, which I feel is a much more... I don't know if I'd call it a standard first pick, but I think I would defend that first pick more than the Nyx Assassin.
Yeah, you can do more things with a Viper.
Reserve time.
As a first pick, you can put him anywhere, really.
QPR going into their bonus time here for their second pick. And that'll be a Lion. So, some interesting picks here so far. Not what you would... I don't know that you would see these picks a lot of times, especially in, the professional scene. But Lion is another, really strong hero, I feel, who's got a lot of CC. He's got the damage from that burst. And maybe, like last week, we will see the Lion Aghanim Scepter, which, at the beginning of that match, we all kind of thought was a joke, but it ended up actually happening. So maybe we'll get to see something fun like that again.
5 seconds.
We'll count on seeing it again. I think that's the running. It'll happen. It'll definitely happen.
User Friendly picks up a Bane, another good crowd control hero. He can sleep you, lock you down with the ultimate, a little bit of nuke damage, the disable on attack damage. So Bane is another really good utility hero. And so neither team really giving away their strategy here at the beginning of the draft. Both choosing to instead kind of pick for those super utility heroes that can bounce around from lane to lane, that can be anywhere, not giving anything away to their opponent here in the final. User Friendly dipping into their time now.
See these next two bans.
If I were QPR, I'd definitely ban out Mirana.
Okay, the Mirana. Why the Mirana ban there?
Because I hate that stupid sleep combo, and if you tie that up to a Nyx, that can almost pick off any one hero that's on your team.
Radiant team ban.
Yeah, there we go.
Right. There goes the Mirana. The Visage is banned on the other side.
Annoying enough, but man, the Nyx Bane Mirana is just awful.
So Visage, one of those support heroes that you really don't want to see in your matches a lot of times. So he's banned out.
5 seconds. Reserve time. Radiance ban.
And the Luna is banned out by User Friendly. A good ban there. Luna is one of the strongest carries in this current meta, I really believe, with the Glaives getting that bounce buff. plus the amount of damage
10
she's able to put out with
seconds to go.
her ultimate early game. She's a great hero
Radiant's
that carries well from mid to late game. And then QPR bans out the Bat Rider, who's been making a bit of a resurgence lately, in that he can play mid and in the off lane.
Really, neither team's really shown what they do yet.
I wonder if user friendly
10
was trying to
seconds
get the Bane Mirana combo. I mean,
5
they might have gotten
seconds.
away with it if they would have picked up Mirana first.
Reserve time.
Possibly.
The one problem that I would have seen with that Mirana is that with the Nyx Assassin already on the team, then all you need to do is really get that gem or some kind of sight, and then you kind of neutralize a lot of what both those heroes brings to the table. But
Yeah.
a good ban out by QPR, just in case that was what user-friendly was trying to do. You know, disrupting the other team's draft is always a good thing to do. We're dipping back into this. Both teams taking a lot of time thinking out their picks. Doesn't seem like we have a lot of pocket strats or anything like that you can just instantly snap up those heroes like we did see in a couple of the games between QPR and Power Trip last week. And the Pugna is picked up here. Pugna
Dyer's
is
pick.
another one of those heroes that is really versatile, and Lycan is picked up. I love this Lycan
Radiant's
pick.
pick.
I cannot tell you. Lycan has made a huge comeback in the current meta. His wolves got buffed a little bit, but more than that, he's a carry, kind of like Luna, who transitions well between the early to mid to the late games. He can get that early Roshan. He can push heavily early and often. And in this current meta where you want to end the games as quickly as you possibly can,
10
I feel that
seconds
Lycan
to
is
go.
one of the stronger carries that you can find out there, just like Luna. And
5
he sneaks into
seconds.
user-friendly's pool here.
Yeah, and the nice thing about him is he has the
Reserve
ability to
time.
sneak in there, grab it, pick off the supports, and run away with little to no problem.
Overall, a really great hero. I do like the Pugna pick as well, but I think that the Lycan pick, as that carry that's going to transition between the different phases of the game, I think he's a great value pick right there in the third pick. Pugna is going to give you a lot more control still with that ward, with the Neither Blast, and I always forget Decrepify.
Yeah.
And QPR using a lot of their bonus time here to pick up the Shadow Shaman. So it
Dyer's
looks like
pick.
QPR is looking to push too with those wards,
Yeah.
with the Pugna Blasts, and everything else.
So you think user friendly is going to go for a counter push, or you think they're going to go for their own push?
It really looks like user-friendly is kind of drafting for utility and control, and maybe even team fight. The Lycan push factor of Lycan is a kind of a bonus
10
to me.
seconds
but
to go.
With Nyx and Bane, those two heroes aren't really going to bring a
5
ton to a push
seconds.
lineup. They are going to bring a ton to a team fight lineup. So while they are going to have to live through the
Reserve
push
time.
early of QPR, I think they might have an advantage towards the late game.
Be super curious to see what they're going to pick up. I mean, that push lineup they have is so solid right now, and Viper's so effective early game. They're going to have a little bit of defense against that, and I think this next two picks are going to be kind of key for that.
Again, a lot of bonus time being used here. QPR down to 16 seconds of bonus time, and user-friendly dipping under that now with right around 10 seconds of bonus time left.
10
So there's not going to be a whole
seconds to
lot
go.
left here for bans, for the final bans and the
5
final picks.
seconds.
User-friendly cutting it really close, and they pull out one of our favorite heroes, and by favorite I mean
Radiant
least favorite
ban.
heroes. The Nature's Prophet. So Goldclaw does look like you are right. The user-friendly is going to go for that kind of counter push or split push lineup, picking up the global presence of the
Dire
Nature's
team
Prophet.
ban.
And right into their ban they go here. It'll be interesting to see what they decide to do.
10 seconds to go. 5 seconds. Reserve time. Radiant's pick.
So user-friendly wants nothing to do with clockwork.
Yeah, that's an interesting ban. I don't know how Clockwork would really fit in too well with QPR. While QPR bans the Crobulus, which I think would have fit really well into their own lineup, but
10
instead they're going to go
Yeah.
for something else. Not really sure.
5 seconds. Reserve time. 10 seconds to go. Dyer's
The Weaver's picked up. Gonna bring a little bit to the push lineup, but bring a lot more to the team fight aspects, which they are going to have to balance that team fight with the push in order to counter this user-friendly team. And Puck is the last pick here. Puck is also one of those heroes that you kind of been seeing with a comeback in the ability to play in the mid and the off lane. A Puck definitely needs some decent farm in order to provide much into the mid to late game. But if you get those levels and you get a little bit of farm on her, and she can provide good team control. So user-friendly with a really good team control. Honestly, it's just a really balanced lineup. They have team control for the team fights. They have pushing power. They have early game. They have mid game. They have late game potential. So a lot of good things there. QPR, I wonder how well that their lineup will translate to the late game. But again, last week we kind of had a similar feeling about their game 1 draft, and they came out and they really controlled what Power Trip wanted to do, and were able to limit Power Trip's farm and opportunities so that they really dominated in that late game. And so Ukapella, as we pop in here, is going to pause the game, which will give us just a couple seconds to intro everybody. On the Nature's Prophet, we will have the captain of User-Friendly, Vukapella. On the Nyx, we'll have Karo. On the Bane, we'll have Toon Tamer. Spanking will be playing Puck, and Tuffsgland, at least I believe that's how you say his name there, will be playing the Lycan. And down on the Radiant, we'll have the captain of QPR, P. Diddy, playing the Pugna, Spazzy the Professional playing the Viper, Locke on the Weaver, I Did Your Dad on the Lion, and Shadow Shaman will be played by D&T Inferno. I will say we don't know a ton about the team from WET Wednesday, user-friendly, so I can't really tell you who's going to go where there. I would assume, however, that you would probably see something like the Puck mid with the Nature's Prophet either off lane or the Forest, the Lycan probably in the easy lane, and then the Nyx either taking the off lane if Nature's Prophet elects not to go down there, or supporting Lycan if he does. But on QPR, I will say that what we did see last week is that Spazzy the Professional primarily played the off lane. So we might see a little bit of an aggressive tri-lane here with the Viper, Lion, and Shaman going up towards the top lane, with Locke playing more of that easier lane farm Weaver. That's a potential way that they could go. I'm not 100%. What do you guys think where they're going to line up here?
I think they're going to do an aggressive tri-lane. It just makes sense their lineup. They'll have probably likely go... Oh, man, I just don't know where Pugna's going to go. Pugna could go mid to get that early level so they can start pushing sooner. But Shadow Shaman would probably be a better fit.
I think I could see Bane and Nyx Assassin doing an early smoke to mid from the top lane. That no matter who goes mid, that could be a pretty easy first blood.
Yeah, and they could potentially have a Furion beam in too, depending on what he goes for his skill build. If they want to go early, they could always do the beam in.
So a lot of options for user-friendly in what they want to do. QPR seems a little bit more locked in, but they're going to have like you guys said, they're going to have a hero at this mid lane here who's going to be a lot more gankable than user-friendly's mid lane probably will. And so it still looks like we're having a little bit of lag issues here with 1,000 ping on Tiskland.
Wonder if we're on a bad server.
QPR also having some lag issues as well.
Some jants at each other there.
Alright, so Vukapella giving us the ready signal.
Okay.
And here we go. So Pugna is going to pick up an early null talisman, which is kind of an interesting thing. Smoke is picked up on the Bane.
Bane. Yep.
QPR
And
heading
where is
in
Nyx gonna
a
go?
fairly big group towards the mid lane here, so it looks like they might actually go looking for each other here. Doesn't appear that anybody on QPR has that dust, so they're not going to be looking to smoke up or anything. They're just going to be looking to find somebody out in the open down here. Nature's Prophet's trees are heading down here towards these rune spots.
There's a good chance that one train's gonna run right into him too.
He could.
Yep,
Looks
there we
maybe he's gonna head him south though. It depends on which way QPR is
it's
gonna
too
go.
low.
Oh, and again we have another pause from Vukapilla. So wards are on the Nyx assassin, who is heading towards the top lane. Tuskland given some pooled some tangos and a poor man's shield on him. That smoke sitting on the Bane as well as a couple sentries. And Puck also has a couple tangos pooled as well as a ward. And he has a full null talisman as well. So again,
You
we're
think they're
giving
gonna
the go
dual
signal.
lane it mid? 'Cause it looks as though Puck is gonna be soloing bottom.
Puck's
Possibly.
in deep trouble if he gets caught. Oh, are they roshing?
Oh, they.
No.
No, they're gonna check
no,
the
they
Roshan
couldn't.
and then back up. No, there's no way. Oh.
I guess UF actually has a good level 1 Roche combo. That's probably what they were thinking.
Seconds.
They head towards the bottom lane here. Puck will kind of redirect towards that mid lane, while Tuskland and Toon Tamer are going to head bottom. QPR is going to kind of divert into their lanes as well, and it looks like I was right. QPR is going to run this easy lane Weaver with Locke trying to soak up some early levels and farm. He's going to have some trouble, though, against Bane because UF has already kind of figured this out. They placed
Battle
the
starts
ward
in
here,
3,
and they've got 2 sentries
2,
up on the Bane,
1.
so it's not going to be super easy for the Weaver down here. Meanwhile, we will have this tri-lane, and they will be met by a solo Nyx assassin, it looks
Your
like,
funeral.
as Nature's Prophet is kind of ducking into the forest here. So as we look into these lanes, who are we thinking is going to have like this early advantage?
Nyx Assassin's gonna be in a huge problem top lane. But of course the Weaver I don't think is gonna have much fun bottom lane either. The mid lane might actually be a pretty even fight.
The Weaver's gonna have a great start though. Picked up double damage.
He's already spotted by that ward though.
Duskland pulls up the early level of Howl, get a little bit of CS, and he does pop up to the top of the chart with 2. Don't see...
Looks like Furion is gonna be sticking in the lane up top too, which is smart because that Nyx Assassin's not gonna get anywhere near it.
And Weaver will be enfeebled, so it'll be a little bit tougher for him. And QPR have a little bit of a gank going on here. Ping did come out from TNT Inferno, and they're going here on this Puck. This Puck is a little too deep. He's up on the high ground, and he's shackled up. The blast goes out. He's really low, and he will be First Blood. I did your dad, pulling out the First Blood on Spanking there. Great initial gank from QPR.
That was such a flub though. They have a ward there. He saw them. They weren't smoked up.
Yeah, he just walked up right behind him. He got way too involved. He was up here, couldn't see them because of the fog once they did get past that ward, and he was just trapped from the very beginning. Now QPR has DNT Inferno. They're rotating the supports to help Locke here at this bottom lane. They've realized that he's going to have a much harder time down here than they initially envisioned, and so they'll leave Spazzy up top here to kind of solo up against the Nyx and the Nature's Prophet.
I think that's a pretty smart move. I don't think Viper's going to have any problems up top. He is getting beat down pretty hard by those Nature Prophet Treants, though.
Spanking has taken a very aggressive approach to this mid lane, harassing P. Diddy a ton, which was part of the reason that he ended up dying in that first blood, is because he was so aggressive. And he will orb up the cliff now. P. Diddy is going to fall now to the 2 auto attacks after the orb, and Spanking evens up the score, 1-1. He will take a little bit of tower damage, but he's perfectly fine. He's got a potion, and he's got some tangos as well. Meanwhile, at the bottom lane here, DNT Inferno is trying to be aggressive, but this ward is going to spot him out, and so nothing doing down there.
We're having some server problems.
Both teams seem to be having a lot of lag issues, which is kind of odd. Hopefully those things kind of go away, because this could be one of those games where a little bit of lag could really decide something. Pugna with the bottle.
And they do have a couple heroes like Puck that's going to be pretty crucial to get those phase shifts off at just the right times, and lag could really screw that up pretty easily.
P. Diddy kind of runs into that orb there. He had a good chance to dodge it, but he ran right into it. So not a whole lot of action going on here now after that initial rotation. Oh, now it goes. Silence goes out on P. Diddy, and he does get very low. No more bottle charges remaining. There is only 15 seconds left till the rune, and a haste rune is up here. So he's going to have an opportunity to maybe do a little bit of something. And pings come out top from P. Diddy. He's going to activate this haste, and he's going to use those bottle charges, but now he's going to turn around back towards the mid lane, maybe? Nope, he's just going to wait for the 4-minute rune and head towards that, because he knows it's there. He'll throw out a blast here on the way down, get up some CS, and then he's going to head for these illusions down at the bottom lane. So he's still hasted up. We could see something going on here on the Bane. A stun went out, but nothing really doing there. And Pugna heads back up here towards this mid lane.
All lanes are being very passive, though. Like, a couple here and there on mid, but that's about it.
And it looks like SK Land has rotated to the jungle pretty wisely. He's not getting anything done in the bottom lane.
Yeah, 14-2, so a little bit behind the Weaver, just not where you want him to be at this point in the game. Probably, he's got those early levels, he's got that poor man's shield, he's going to have an opportunity to get some good farm in the jungle. And a pause comes out from Spazzy here, as Spanking taking a little damage behind his tier 1 tower there.
In your debt.
It's going to be the game of pauses. Even the players are getting a little confused why people are pausing.
So we have this. How long until QPR realizes that this is a solo Bane down here, and they just rush this tower and murder his face?
They could too. They have complete lockdown.
Shadow Shaman doing a little pulling here.
Supports.
The jungle. He's coming back into the lane here. Pretty soon they have to realize what's going on here.
They don't have a ward. They're not going to see that, and Bane just threw down a counter down there.
Radiant's top tower is being
Puck's
attacked.
bottle is now up. Throws the orb. The P. Diddy does dodge this time. Here's that sentry that we were Goldclaw was talking about. So even though this Observer Ward's about ready to run out, the Sentry will block the pull camp there, which will make it a little bit harder for DNT Inferno to really keep the lane back for Locke. But I don't think that's going to be a problem here. With these guys down here, they're going to be able to push this tower pretty early and pretty hard. And here goes the rush here. Toon Tamer with the little chicken into the stun, into the shackle, Locke the bugs, and throws out one more auto attack to get the kill down there. And so just like I thought would happen, as soon as they realized that he was all alone, they went in on him. And in mid lane here, Pugna ends up winning this battle with the Puck. I did not
Man
catch
fight.
that.
Bottom tower is under
But
siege.
straight up man
top
fights him
lane.
now.
Viper's
Spazzy
in
up
trouble.
here being chased by Caro, throws out the Carapace and the Mana Burn, but nothing really doing there.
Oh,
And
they're
they're
gonna
going to turn on him
underground.
now. QPR, I Did Your Dad
Bottom tower
really
has
wants
been
this, but
destroyed.
no, he turns around. Spazzy was just too low. They didn't know where Tuskland was, and so they end up just kind of withdrawing there.
That was a smart move. They may have been able to get him, but man, that would have been terrible. Viper would have gotten picked off for it. So I think it was a smart move.
Weaver does end up pushing this tier 1 bottom, so that happens. And meanwhile, Spanky and P. Diddy, they're really going at it here. Throws the orbs, throwing the blasts. It's been very, very aggressive in the mid lane, very passive pretty much everywhere else. Treads come up on the Weaver, so he is getting a decent amount of farm here. 7 minutes in, he's got Treads and what appears to be his Ring of Aquila completed. P. Diddy's going to head towards this bottom lane where there's a double damage waiting for him. And now Nature's Prophet is bottom with Bane, and Bane is smoked up heading towards this rune here. So P. Diddy,
They saw the smoke,
P. Diddy
though.
runs right into him. The courier's there. P. Diddy has slept.
Oh.
Pings come out, but they're not going to be able to really do anything. Puck's heading
Puck's ult's
this way.
charged.
Yeah, Puck's not going to... He's going to throw out one auto attack and nothing more. Bane pings a couple times for the bottom lane, and he is kind of swooping around here once more. But instead, it's going to head towards the mid where the all does come out on P. Diddy. Orb thrown out. Silence. P. Diddy throws out the ward, regens a little bit, throws out his ultimate, and now heads up the hill. Vukapella takes damage from the blast. And from an auto attack, and very, very low Vukapella coming in on that gank. The brain sap from Toon Tamer throws out a couple blasts on the ward. So a lot of activity going on there, but no deaths. And up top, Spazzy gets gone on by this Lycan who's getting man-fought and ended by the Nyx Assassin.
Yeah, Nature's Prophet.
almost died there.
Yeah, he started his beaming process within range of the ward, and it almost killed him. It was very close. About 20 health.
And so Spanking back for more here in the mid
Looks like
lane.
they
The
want
blast
this
will
mid
hit
tower.
this tower. An orb comes out to kind of try to counter push this, and Spanking kind of low on mana. Not a whole lot he's going to be left to do. Another blast on this tower will reduce it to about 300 HP. Meanwhile, at bottom lane, Vukapella and Toon Tamer going at it here with Locke, who's just kind of being that, he's being that Weaver, Shikuchiing in and out, doing a little damage here and there, and then ducking out of harm's reach.
Very passive game so far. I mean, this is beyond mid, kind of going back and forth, and really, even then, they haven't gotten a lot of kills out of it.
Mechanism is almost up on the Pugna. Meanwhile, Locke is going in on Vukapella. He throws out the bugs. One more Shikuchi to get into range, and he will kill the Nature's Prophet, be slept up by Toon Tamer. It's a little too late unless he does not have any mana to follow up that sleep, and so Locke will
Dire's
get
top
away
tower is
with
under
about
siege.
150 HP after diving for that kill. And up top here, Spazzy the Professional and DNT Inferno, they're looking for this tower kill. DNT almost level 6. They're probably not going to get it with this creep wave, but definitely will with the next. And then this tower is going to be in a lot of trouble.
Mid tower's about ready to fall too. Pugna's
Oh,
got
and there he goes.
another blast ready.
Level 6 on DNT Inferno, so whenever they get that pushed up against the tower again, they're going to be able to throw those wards out. Meanwhile, P. Diddy does have his mechanism up on in his stash. Puck throws out the orb and teleports up to the regen, pings out from his
Dire's
top
middle
lane
tower
here.
is
She
under
wants to
attack.
go in on these
It's
guys,
probably
and
fine.
they're not going to see this coming.
Trust
They have
me,
no
I'm a
vision,
supercomputer
but the
and I
pings do
barely
come out from
understand what's
Pugna,
happening
warning
right
his teammates
now.
to get back. Lion is going to teleport in the meantime as well, and Vukapella is heading towards this mid lane, throws out an auto attack towards P. Diddy. Toon Tamer's here as well, but P. Diddy is a little bit out of reach.
And Vukapella didn't have a sprout, otherwise I think they might have had him.
QPR does have a ward right here, so they saw the puck go up to the top lane. They had a pretty good idea.
And the wards do come out. Carol is getting auto attacked by them, and the stun, and he will fall as well. Tuskland able to ult and get away.
Oh,
Shadow Shaman
Inferno.
very, very low.
Wow.
But they do end up taking that Nyx Assassin in the trade-off there.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Vukapella has
But they won't have wards
2
for this
sets
tower.
of boots. I'm not sure
That's
what
interesting.
he's
Dire's
doing
top
with that.
tower is
'cause-
under siege.
Well, he does have 2 feet.
Thank you.
Oh
for
lord,
that.
that's an awful misclick.
Yeah.
Dire's top tower is being attacked.
As I'm
Yeah, no kidding. Ooh.
Radiant's middle tower is under siege. Radiant has
and
fortified
after a
its
great
structures.
week last week of missing no kills, I've missed 3
Dire's
already
bottom
today.
tower is being attacked.
Oh, that's good.
Radiant's middle tower
Spanking
is
is
under
doing some
attack.
damage to this tower. Ping's come
It's
out from the
probably
Pugna to
nothing
try and
to
get somebody
worry
here to
about.
defend it. And the Lion will TP in. I did your dad. TPing in. DNT Inferno also responding with a TP. Pings come out for these tier 1 towers, which are really low. 143 HP on the mid lane tower on the Dire side, and about 500 on the top. So they're going to be able to get this with a little bit of push from the 2 supports and P. Diddy.
And Furion noticing that he had 2 boots.
Okay. Well,
Poor guy.
Yeah. That is kind of unfortunate there. No, you never know. Sometimes you get
Dire's
these
middle
crazy
tower has
like
fallen.
dual treads builds or something, but was in fact a misclick. The mid tower will fall to P. Diddy and company. Meanwhile, Locke has a Mithril Hammer up here, so either looking to go the early BKB or the early Desolator here, and he's going to dive a little bit on Vukapella as well, throw out some auto attacks with the Shikuchi and not much more. Pings come on Spazzy the Professional from Karo, who is ulted up, and he's going to spin around here behind,
lane.
and Spazzy is in a lot of trouble. Hits Tuskland
Oof.
with his ultimate, but he is not going to survive that. The Nature's Prophet ult comes in and hits him, and Lycan finishes him off with the
Oh
ult.
wow.
Bottom lane, meanwhile, Locke dives in there as his teammate is dying. Locke kills the Puck. Also, P. Diddy died in there somewhere, I'm assuming to the Puck. Locke is slept up on top here, and he's going to dive a little bit. Is he going to really...
Oh, is he
He's
gonna
gonna
do
go
it?
for it. Yeah, and he does. He picks off the Bane there, ults back to the ramp, and great play there from Locke to get a couple kills. And he is dominating, and it is going to be a Desolator as another Mithril Hammer comes up in his stash. So he's only about 400 gold away from having that damage, and that's going to be really nice to have. Sub 15 minutes, sub 14, well, probably about 14 minutes, maybe 14:30. And in the top, Karo's in a lot of trouble. He throws out the Carapace, which will stun them enough to let him get away. And now, all of a sudden, the aggression has kind of ramped up. Vukapella is at bottom, battling with Locke and I Did Your Dad. Toon Tamer here as well.
The Desolator build on Weaver is the right way to go instead of going for BKB because UF does have the Bane for control. Even if he gets his BKB off, they Fiends gripped him, and then that BKB, it's done nothing for you essentially.
And what else are you really going to BKB out of except for Puck? I mean, the BKB effectiveness is going to be very low this game. I think one of those rare times where I'd say a Lincoln Sphere is actually more optimal, but I like the Deso build because he's just going to just beat down Bane, Nyx, and Puck, and even Nature's Prophet to some extent with that.
The team will trade towers. And I do agree, I think the Desolator build is the way to go. You know, the BKB will stop a lot of things, but it won't stop Bane. The Lincoln Sphere will stop a lot of things, but it won't stop Puck. So really, Magic Immunity is one of those things that's not going to happen unless you go ultra late game and you can get both of those abilities. So going just pure damage here is going to be the way to go. Get a little bit more push going on. Get a little bit more team fight going on before UF is really ready for it. And Puck goes in on Weaver, and ooh, he is just burst down before I Did Your Dad can really get a stun. I Did Your Dad then is returned with the stun, and the Puck ultimate will fall as well. 2 kills to go to Vukapella, who's got about 2,500 gold sitting on him right now. So he's in a very good position to start getting some farm of his own, getting some tier 2 items to really help push this lineup further.
So what would you get if you're Vukapella at this point?
And he has just spent some of his gold.
Oh, there you go. They never said what he got.
Maybe I was,
Weird.
Come to me.
Yeah, it said he had 2,500 gold, and now he's got 1,300, but I don't see any items.
I did see smoke purchased up there. In the meantime, mid's getting
Oh,
pinged
he's
out a
going
little bit.
Midas.
Oh, okay.
Hands Midas is picked up. So pings come out for Spazzy, who has been picked off a couple times already, and he is in a lot of trouble in the middle of the entire UF team, and he's going to die again. Stun misses from Nyx, but the Bane ultimate does come out, and Puck is able to get that kill. So 7 to 8 UF with a slim kill lead, while QPR has a 1 tower advantage, and they're going to go for Roshan here. It's a good move, I think. They got the kill. Vladimir's up and Medallion of Courage up on the lycanthrope, and so this is going to be a pretty easy Roshan. Not a whole lot QPR is going to be able to do about it.
Yep, good move. Weaver doesn't have a TP scroll. QPR's tier 1 tower is down.
And the Puck
Can't
dives
get
in
there
here on
quick
the
enough.
supports. TNT Inferno shackles him in response. Toon Tamer is going to go down. Caro pretty low as well. TNT the Inferno dies. Vukapella comes in and gets a kill. And then the Tuskland comes in, kills off the Lion. He's wants more. He's charging in after P. Diddy here. Spaz is going to throw out the ultimate. Ward still burning off HP. Carol with the ultimate, hits Spazzy the Professional, throws out the stun that does miss. Locke is here now. Locke's going to be able to clean stuff up. Sentry Ward does come down. And Locke gets 1 kill. Locke ultimates, gets 2 kills. Oh, he gets the Aegis, gets a 2nd kill. Kills the Ward now. Locke is really low, does not have mana for anything. Vukapella comes in now. Vukapella is decapitated, so he's not going to be able to kill Locke. P. Diddy running away for his life. DNT Inferno comes in with the sheep, traps Tuskland in the wards, and then shackles him. Tuskland... Is he going to get away? No, he's not. The tower's going to pick him off there. Vukapella almost picks off Pugna, but now he's sheeped up, and he will die as well. So 4 heroes die from UF after what started as a great team fight. DNT Inferno and Locke really able to turn that around. Locke, when he finally got to the team fight over here, and DNT, after the respawn TP, immediately getting the Lycan in those wards, was just a clutch play there to really turn that around for QPR.
It was impressive support and impressive beanbacks, and knew exactly where to be and made that team fight turn around pretty quick.
So as we saw in that team fight,
how close this game is, though.
Puck picks up that Blink Dagger, so he's going to have that extra mobility. 1,400 gold on the Shadow Shaman, so it'll be interesting to see if he's going to go straight Aghanims or if he's going to go for more support items. Spazzy, in the meantime, not getting a whole lot done. He's got 700 gold. Maybe going for Drum, something like that. I'm not 100% certain. P. Diddy's got quite a bit of farm, and he's going to go Aghanims. He's got the Point Booster and the Ogre Club up already to go along with that mechanism. Vukapella now is going Necrobook. He's got the Belt of Strength and the Staff of Wizardry.
They found Lycan top lane.
He's going to be able to pick that up. Lycan will ultimate, stand there for a while, and then run away. I don't think he meant to do that, but that was a nice little
do
taunt.
the same thing last fight.
Yeah, I did too.
P. Diddy now ulted by Caro, followed with the stun, and the ultimate from the Bane coming out here. The silence comes out from Spanking, and P. Diddy will die as well.
Radiant.
That was a lot for Pugna.
So 12-12,
Well, they
Vukapella pushing bottom.
Uproot you.
They didn't use Dream Coil though, so it was 1 alt.
Tower is under siege.
Lock
Actually,
TPs,
two.
Shikuchi's in
Vendetta.
after Vukapella, who's going to look to TP away, and there's nothing that Locke's going to be able to do. He's just going to watch in frustration as he runs away. Toon Tamer throws out a ward, but there is a sentry sitting right next to it for the Radiant, so they're going to know that that's there. Meanwhile, Tuskland is pushing mid, and this lineup for UF is doing exactly what it was built to do here. They're fighting the team fights, but they're also getting good split push in from the Lycan and from the Nature's Prophet. Nyx Assassin with 1,200 gold sitting on him. 1,900 on the Puck now. Probably going to be searching for that sheep stick, I would imagine, and level 1 Necrobook does come out on the Nature's Prophet. Spazzy's got about 1,000 gold,
Whoa.
still nothing coming from him.
Vukapella's had this Hand of Midas recipe for at least 7 minutes.
Holy cow. He hasn't finished that yet?
No, I think he forgot about it
Oh,
completely.
you know what happened? He finished his treads. He didn't have boots when we were looking earlier. He had the brown boots and the gloves of haste. I bet he went to try to finish it off and he accidentally got treads instead.
No, I bet what he did is he bought that that belt of ogre strength. He bought that for the Necrobook, not thinking that when he called that and the recipe that it would deliver the ogre belt first and complete the treads, and he was not able to disassemble them. I don't know. That's weird. An odd misplay there, I think.
Yeah, he's had the
Locke's good diving up on
kind of
Tuskland
the
here.
shit
He's
end of
thrown
the
out some
stick this
damage, and
game.
he will kill the Weaver. The ultimate popped, but then immediately canceled, and now Toon Tamer's running away, and he's in a lot of trouble as well, as the entire QPR team basically is up here. Ping comes out from the Lycan. He knows that Toon Tamer's in a lot of
he's
trouble.
gonna
Bugs
dive
follow.
that.
He's going to sleep himself. A couple more auto attacks thrown up the hill, and Locke ends up killing the Bane. Meanwhile, Vukapella teleports behind the line here and trying to push this, but 2 TPs will come out in response as P. Diddy and Spazzy both teleport up here to cancel out that push. Lots of pings from the Dire here. They want to look throughout their own forest to try to find Locke, who is sitting at about half health, but QPR is kind of withdrawn from that area for right now.
Where were the support, or where was the support for that Bane, though? I mean, he ran forever, and his team was nowhere near him, and they actually have 2 towers right there. That should have been an easy beam in and save.
Yeah, I looked on Nyx and he didn't have a teleport.
Oh, Sentry goes down on Carol. The ward as well. Puck blinks in. He's getting just demolished. Everybody's getting demolished by UF by this ward. It's doing a ton of work here. They're going to have to just withdraw. They had pretty good initiation, but that ward really just wrecked him. And Spazzy's going to be able to clean up the Nyx Assassin there. Spanking and Toon Tamer sitting at about half and 3/4 health, respectively. But that could have gone a lot better for UF if they would have found that ward. But placed here in the middle there, the Wolves are able to finish it off, but it was in enough fog to really cause problems for UF.
It was a great sentry ward, too. They assumed Nyx was going to come for him, and they were right.
The wards are thrown out, and they are going to push this tower, and it's going to be pretty easy. Meanwhile, down here at the bottom lane, I Did Your Dad is invis, and he's pinging out for Tuskland. They really want him. Oh, now Toon Tamer's here. Oh, Lion decides to not go for him.
Wow.
He really could have. He could have 2-hit him there with the spike.
That would have.
And the ultimate. Meanwhile, at the bottom lane here, Nature's Prophet is doing what the Nature's Prophet does the best. He's pushing this tier 2. Things come out from P. Diddy to go after him. The Courier just delivered a level 2 Necro, so he's still not finishing this Hands of Midas recipe, which is just really doing nothing. It's 1,500 gold that he has wasted in this game, and he's still getting no return out of it.
There's been a Blink Dagger purchased up on Shadow Shaman.
And he's gonna sell.
And he finished the.
He sells the Midas to finish a Necro 3. Wow.
Ooh. So that means he's almost had almost 1,000 gold that he's lost because of items that he didn't need to buy.
Spanking with the ultimate orb, so it does in fact look like she is going for that sheepstick. So as we have a little bit of a lull, if we look at the experience graph, we'll see that QPR has about a 4,000 experience lead, even though that's been tailing off a little bit recently. And they have over 5,000, probably getting relatively close to the 7,000 range in gold advantage over UF. Lycan pushing this top tower, throws out his wolves. He's got the recipe and the Belt of Ogre Strength for the Necro book as well. So he's ready to have a level 1 Necro book here as soon as he can get the Courier to him. And meanwhile, bottom lane here, we've got a team fight going on. Spanking shackled up. Will go in out of phase. Locke's turning on Karo now. Locke's stunned up by the Carapace. Shikuchi's in, throws an auto attack, and now he's ulted by the Bane. Bane has to pull that off now. He's sheeped. Spazzy the Professional going in on him with some auto attack or blocking of his own, and throws out on the Nyx there. So things just kind of going crazy for both teams. Neither one really organizing or focusing their fire much. Puck will throw out the silence. DNT Inferno really low. Now Vukapella will get killed by the Lion ultimate there, and this tower is in danger of falling.
That was a weird team fight. I mean, when you looked at the heroes' health, almost all of them were at no health. It was kind of crazy.
Yeah, it was incredibly chaotic.
Almost every single hero was sub 25%. That was just nuts.
Locke is going to TP up here towards this top lane. He's got his Lincoln Sphere up now, and 900 gold. So Locke's doing all kinds of work at 9-1, 159 CS, and very top of the net worth chart as we switch over to that from the CS chart. Meanwhile, P. Diddy right behind him with a mechanism and agonyms of his own and 1,500 gold to boot.
So why isn't Lycan going for BKB? I mean, they have the opposite problem that User Friendly has. The other QPR's got stuns and nukes galore. I mean, when he ran down here in that team fight, he was chasing the Shadow Shaman, and he would have had him easily, but he just got locked down, and he had to run away, and he almost died because of it.
I think that the Necrobook is getting picked up for 2 reasons. Number one, if he gets that level 3 Necrobook, it's going to be one more thing to reveal the Weaver. Number 2, it's going to be one more thing to add additional push to this UF team. They're going to have 2 level 3 Necrobooks. They're going to have the Lycan Wolves. They're going to have Howl. They're going to have Vukapella in his trees. There's going to be a whole lot of push potential there, especially when you pair that with the Orb from Puck. So, I mean, I guess that's what they're thinking, is they're thinking, let's get these Necros up, let's get some sight, let's get some push, and then we can pick up BKB later if that's something that we need to do.
And they have Necrobook on their 3 different heroes right now. Lycan has level 2 Necrobook, Nature's Prophet level 3 Vukapella, and then Tomb Tamer has his Staff of Wizardry, which is a safe bet that's going to be a Necrobook too. And I like that. That's a good choice to go mass Necros.
Yeah, those things do a ton of damage when they're attacking you, and they do a ton of damage when you kill them as well. Accidentally killing one of those things with Shikuchi or your wards or your Impale or your Pugnablast is going to
I think
really
Lycan's
have a
going
big
to
effect.
hit.
Oh, and Lycan is able to kill those
barely
bugs.
survived there.
Capella, meantime, killing this ancient stack, and the ping comes out from P. Diddy to push this last remaining tier 2 tower on the bottom lane. So the Blink Dagger purchased up by D&T Inferno, so a little bit more initiation power there from him. He's going to be able to blink in and get that the initial 2 stuns off before UF is really going to be able to respond to that, allowing Lion to get the 2 stuns of his own off. So a lot of really good control there on the part of QPR. All kinds of pings going on here. Spazzy wants to go in on Spanking. He does not see Caro here, who goes invis. And, he did see him. He saw him go invisible there and throws out the dust, but the dust does not connect. So Spazzy knows that he's invis. He just doesn't know where he's at, so he's going to back off. Meanwhile, D&T the Inferno, P. Diddy, and I Did Your Dad, they're going to push towards this bottom lane. They're going to throw down a sentry, which kills the Dire Sentry, which had almost no time left, and then we have a disconnect here from D&T Inferno. So, it's been kind of a little bit of a crazy stretch here with 28 minutes into the game. We're sitting at 16-12, so 28 kills for 28 minutes. Not nearly as fast-paced as we were last week, but what are our initial thoughts and observations about this game? Who's got an advantage? Where do we think this is going?
User-friendly is in a huge pickle. I have a feeling that they're just about to get ran over. They're falling so far behind, and they just don't have any really solid counters up yet to counter these pushes.
And Vukapella is getting going on here. Puck counter initiates, throws out the coil on 3. And D&T Inferno will fall, but not before getting the wards down. The trees trap Caro in with those wards, so an unfortunate placement of those trees. Nyx will fall. Pugna falls. Spazzy's in a lot of trouble here. I Did Your Dad is even more trouble. Throws out the Impale and runs away. Spazzy's going to try and TP out. Tomb Tamer is really low, so is SK Land. The Lion will fall as well. So 3 fall for QPR. Meanwhile, at the top lane, Locke is pushing up the hill here, looking at this tier 3. Vukapella TP's back to the back up to their base to try to stop him, but they're not going to be able to do anything. This tower is going to fall.
Denied.
So a tier 3 tower for 3 heroes on the side of QPR. Honestly, though, I think that that's a really good trade for QPR.
But how scared would you be? I mean, User-friendly did well in that team fight, but they didn't do great, and the Weaver wasn't there. If the Weaver would have been there, I think it would have been a 5-man wipe going in favor of QPR. I don't even think... The Weaver's just so scary right now, and he's just going to shred whatever hero he decides to go in on.
And he's got
User-friendly had
3,700
problems
gold.
taking on that fight. Yeah, he's just so beefy right now. We got a smoke gank heading up near the secret shop on Dire.
Oh, but they're not going to... Well, they might catch P. Diddy down there. Meanwhile, Viper is invis. And
Looks like
so
they're
he's
headed into Roche.
Nope, they're going to go to Roshan here. So the pings do come out.
With me.
Vukapella TP's in. The Wolves are in there. They smoke into the pit. Are they going to trade Roshan for some barracks here? Is QPR going to realize? I don't think they are. They haven't realized that they're in there yet.
Lycan does not have a TP.
Roshan has been killed by the Dire.
Lycan does pick up the Aegis. Toon Tamer heading towards this mid here. He sees Lion, throws the sleep on him, and nothing's going to come of it. They're all going to back away. Pinks come out from the puck to defend this top lane. Locke is rushing in on it. He's just going to go straight for the barracks. He throws out his Desolator attacks along with Spazzy, and this thing is melting. It's at half health. The coil catches both of them. Now QPR Locke will fall. He's just blown up. The Lincoln Sphere popped. Spazzy will follow. A little bit of a questionable decision there, I have to say. QPR did not have their whole team there. They just kind of bum rushed that without regard to their lives. But Karo is going to be cleaned up. Lycan will then clean up DNT the Inferno. QPR in a lot of trouble. P. Diddy throws out the mech. Not a whole lot going on from that, though, and he's going to die as well. Yes.
Those necro books.
Well, it's the Necro books, and that was just a sloppy engagement. When they started off with just 2 of them, they should have waited for their team, and then when the rest of the team showed off, they almost ran in there one at a time, and yeah, they got the Knicks, but they all died because of it. It was kind of a really sloppy engagement.
And the damage done was done to the melee rack, so if they don't get up here and, you know, finish that in a hurry, it's going to regen its life back up. 3,400 gold up on the puck.
I understand that they were in a hurry and they wanted that Rax, but you can't rush things when they're just not there.
Now I think it would be lucrative for SK Land to end up getting that BKB now. Now that he's finished Necro 3. And he will find, I think he'll find much more success with that now.
He does have
No,
2,000
I totally
gold,
agree.
so
If he gets that BKB up, he's gonna just run through the supports.
Spazzy is looking for the Natures down here, but Natures is just going to TP out. Meanwhile, Locke is heading up towards Karo, and Karo does have an ultimate. Is he going to want to use... Oh, he's just going to get... No, he's not going to get melted down before he can do it. He throws out his ult to run away. 100 health remaining. Locke chases after him briefly, but then decides, nope, that's not a very good idea, especially with 3 heroes from UF heading up towards him. Meanwhile, Vucapella's summoning Treants, and he's killing these Ancients, but P. Diddy pings him out because they see him. The Blink followed by the wards from DNT Inferno. A little overkill, especially with the Viper ultimate there as well. Like, a little miscommunication there, I have to think, from QPR, as they used 2 ultimates on Vucapella, who really was dead to rights there.
He was dead. He was very dead.
The wards and the stun were almost enough. I think the right clicks, and yeah, the nice thing is Pugna's ult takes almost nothing to cast, but that was a lot of damage for really only 1 kill.
Now Weaver is splitting top lane while they're pushing bottom.
The remaining 4 heroes from UF are here. Spike Carapace thrown out there. That was kind of an odd spike to Carapace.
But it is
Weaver's gonna get top
slow
lane.
siege this. Yep, and Weaver's gonna... They're not gonna be able to respond fast enough to this. Maybe they will. There's a
Weaver's a
sentry
little
here.
scared this time.
Yeah, Weaver might have learned his lesson a little bit, so he's going to back off a little bit while the rest of his team slow sieges this bottom, and Pugna's just going to be able to throw these blasts up every 5.5 seconds. They're going to do pretty significant damage to this tower. Yeah, he gets stunned and a little return damage from the Carapace, but, you know, so what? The stun does go out on Spazzy the Professional, and the Necro 3 is thrown out. Coil thrown up on 2. Silence and Orb. But in the meantime, Locke is up here at the top tower. He's killing things off. Spanky's going to fall. Karo does fall as well. Spazzy is going to fall at the very end there. But SK Land is in a lot of trouble, and the Aegis is popped on him. So, meanwhile, at the top lane here, Locke's doing a lot of damage. He's going to kill the Bane as well as that melee barracks. And now UF buyback from Karo, and he's heading towards top lane. But Locke is going to be able to just barely not finish that Rax. Vucapella cast something on it. Must have been his ultimate because he popped the Lincoln Sphere.
It was actually Sprout.
Yeah, it was Sprout.
Oh, I did not realize that you could pop that with that. Huh.
I didn't.
Yeah, because I don't believe they had vision on him at all. So that was interesting.
Yeah, that was really weird. I guess they did have a sentry up on the. Oh, no, it expired.
No, it expired. So I guess technically Sprout is a targeted spell. So if he just like by happy accident clicked on him, I guess that would technically pop Lincolns. That's, huh. I don't know. I'm kind of at a loss for words. But this Weaver is just built. He's got 3,000 gold and an Eagle Song on him. He can finish up Butterfly whenever he wants to. He's got 18,000 net worth, 10-1, 263 CS. So he is just a killing machine.
And Locke's doing what Locke does well and kind of just does his own thing, pushing the lane by himself.
Oh, DNT Inferno's in a lot of trouble. Carol ultimate followed by the Impale. He's cornered in here. The ultimate comes out from the Viper, but then right Carapace comes out on him.
Yes,
Spazzy's in a lot of trouble. He's coiled up. He doesn't want to break this coil, but at the same time he doesn't want to stand here and die, but that's what he's going to do exactly. The orb and the auto attacks finish him up. So 2 heroes from QPR die while Locke heads up towards his top lane, but Vukapella already kind of guessing that that's what's going to happen. He's TP'd up there as well. P. Diddy is going to do it. His TP up there as well. He's got he must have boots to travel up, and he does. So they kill this barracks, and they're going to redirect towards this mid lane now. Locke is going to be able to just do all kinds of damage to this, especially with the blasts protecting from P. Diddy. TP's coming back from UF. UF has got to respond to this. They're not going to be able to respond with a push like they want to. Span King comes in, silences orbs. P. Diddy throws up his mech. He's picked up now, and he's kind of juking through the trees, and he's just going to die. So Puck cleans up P. Diddy. Locke gets away, and now UF is going to return towards their push here at the mid lane. Meanwhile, though, Locke is just being an absolute dickhead, and he's just pushing and pushing and pushing. Like, this is why I love and hate the Weaver at the same time, is that with that Shikuchi, he just kind of goes and does whatever he wants to do. It doesn't matter, and you're not going to be able to kill him unless you have basically your entire team there. So he's just kind of roaming around, getting and doing whatever he wants to, and he might actually run into SK land here in their forest, and he does, and he throws out the bugs. A lot of damage being thrown out by Locke, the Lycan ultimate, and there's going to be a chase here. Wow. Locke throws out a blast, and no, he's not going to be able to kill him, but 290 damage. Is he going to chase? No, he's not going to chase in there. Vukapella is going to TP in with Kara and 2-Tamer. So it took the response of their entire team to save their carry from dying, and they had to throw a sentry down as well.
Yeah, I don't know what you're going to really plan on doing against him. I mean, he just barely made it off, too.
Pings are coming out for mid, so BKB it looks like we're going to have our team fight. BKB purchased by Pugna.
And Agnum wards are also online.
And by Lycan.
SK Land has finished his BKB too.
So we have two BKBs on either side. The Sheepstick is finished up by the Puck as well, which we did see in the engagement on P. Diddy up here. That's who the pig came out on. And the wards do come out. They're targeting... They're not being targeted right now, but the Caro just dies there to the Pugna ward. Puck takes a ton of damage from that Pugna ward as well. SK Lane is going to fall here. The BKB not doing enough to him. Cube and UF is just falling. Like, I couldn't even call it out fast enough. They just died. Like, the amount of damage thrown out there by P. Diddy, by Locke, and DNT, the Inferno wards, are just enough to overwhelm UF completely and get the GG called out. So, you know, just like we saw in last week's Game 1, QPR picked a team that was that early game push that was not going to do super phenomenally late if the other team got what they wanted, but QPR uses their great coordination and their Dota skills, I guess you would say, to really get exactly what they needed, and they kept UF down and were able to outpush the pushing lineup.
Really, there were actually 2 teams on the rating. I don't know if you guys knew that. There was Everyone and then the Weaver. The Weaver just kind of did his own thing. He could pretty much kite the entire lineup of UF and pretty much send them wherever they want, and they could pretty much just split push the whole time. It was a highly enjoyable to watch Locke play. He's definitely a very impressive Weaver.